Hello there, I'm Aishwarya Kapoor with you. Welcome to News Tonight on Rajya Sabha television. China has decided to disengage and ease the tensions in the Galwan Valley along the line of actual control with India. This is our top focus this evening. Also, all the updates on the COVID-19 pandemic. India has overtaken Russia as the third worst hit country by coronavirus after the total number of cases neared 7 lakh. Those stories and much more coming up ahead. The top story of the day. In the first sign of de-escalation of tensions in eastern Ladakh, India and China agreed on disengagement of troops along the line of actual control at the earliest. The agreement was reached during a telephonic conversation between National Security Advisor Ajit Doval and Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi on Sunday. Akhilesh Suman brings us the details.
After over 2 months of standoff at the LAC in eastern Ladakh and multiple rounds of talks at the military and diplomatic levels, Indian and Chinese troops began to disengage on Monday. According to sources, troops from both sides pulled back in a limited manner at several key points in Ladakh. The disengagement process started hours after talks between National Security Advisor Ajit Doval and Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi, the special representatives for border talks between both countries. According to the Ministry of External Affairs, the two special representatives had a frank and in-depth exchange of views on the recent developments on the line of actual control. They agreed that maintenance of peace and tranquility in the India-China border areas was essential for further development of bilateral relations and should not allow differences to become disputes. Therefore, they agreed that it was necessary to ensure complete disengagement of troops along the LAC at the earliest. Under the agreement, the two sides would ensure a phased and stepwise de-escalation and avoid any unilateral action to alter the status quo. Also, diplomatic and military officials from both sides should continue their discussions, including under the framework of the Working Mechanism for Consultation and Coordination on India-China Border Affairs, and implement the understanding in a timely manner to achieve the above outcomes. It was also agreed that NSA Ajit Doval and Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi will continue their conversations to ensure full and enduring restoration of peace and tranquility in the India-China border areas in accordance with the bilateral agreements and protocols. This was the first engagement between the special representatives since the border standoff started in early May. Multiple rounds of talks have been held between both sides over the past 2 months through diplomatic and military channels, including the Corps commanders and the Working Mechanism for Consultation and Coordination on Border Affairs. Earlier in June, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar also spoke to his counterpart following the Galwan Valley clash between troops of both sides on the 15th of June. Last week, Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Ladakh and met troops deployed on the line of actual control. In a strong message, the Prime Minister had said, India's commitment to peace must not be seen as its weakness.
India has given very clear message to China. This message is, no normal relation can be established between India and China if there is no peace and tranquility on the border. So, the process of disengagement will continue in timely and focused manner, and both sides will keep eye on this. Akhilesh Suman for Rajya Sabha television in Delhi.
And the BJP on Monday hit out at Congress leader Rahul Gandhi for criticizing the government's handling of the border dispute with China and the coronavirus pandemic.
BJP President JP Nadda said Rahul Gandhi does not attend Standing Committee on Defence meetings but demoralizes the nation by questioning the valor of the armed forces. Nadda also said Rahul Gandhi belongs to that glorious dynastic tradition where as far as defence is concerned, committees don't matter, only commissions do. Congress has many deserving members who understand parliamentary matters, but one dynasty will never let such leaders grow. According to the Lok Sabha website, Rahul Gandhi did not attend any meeting of the Standing Committee on Defence so far.
The first Parliamentary Standing Committee meeting since the lockdown is scheduled to be held on 10th of July. The Standing Committee for Science and Technology will meet to discuss the preparedness to deal with COVID-19 and other pandemics in the future. Ahead of the meeting, the Lok Sabha Secretariat has issued guidelines to allow Standing Committee meetings with the physical presence of members in Parliament House with some restrictions. These include seating arrangement in the committee room to be made in strict adherence to the social distancing norm of 6 feet. Sanitizers to be made available at the entrance of the committee room. No printed material to be used and all documents to be sent to the members in soft form. Ministries or departments appearing before the committee have been advised to restrict the number of officials to a maximum of 5. The Secretariat has also restricted the entry of its officials for verbatim recording of the Standing Committee meetings and has instructed to make arrangements for audio recording. And now all the updates on the coronavirus pandemic, and India has surpassed Russia as the third worst hit country by COVID-19 after infections crossed 6.9 lakh on Sunday. India is now only behind the US and Brazil in the total number of infections. Now the WHO has lauded India's efforts in its fight against the novel coronavirus. The organization, however, has stressed on the need to focus on data management of the pandemic.
Coronavirus infections in India rose to over 6.97 lakh after over 24,000 fresh cases were reported on Sunday. This is the fourth consecutive day when infections have increased by more than 20,000. According to figures released by the Health Ministry, currently there are over 2.53 lakh active coronavirus cases in the country. However, recoveries too jumped to over 4.24 lakh, including 15,350 patients declared cured in the past 24 hours alone. The recovery rate stands at 60.85%. The death toll from coronavirus has risen to 19,693, including 425 fatalities in the last 24 hours. According to the ICMR, over 99.69 lakh COVID-19 tests have been conducted so far, with over 1.8 lakh samples tested on Sunday. The 5 states with maximum caseload are Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Delhi, Gujarat and Uttar Pradesh. Of the total new cases on Sunday, nearly 9,000 were reported from the 5 southern states, which are in the midst of high growth rate right now. While the old hotspots are reporting declining speed of infection, other states, Odisha, Assam, Jharkhand, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar are also reporting increasing growth rate of cases. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization has lauded the government for its efforts in tackling COVID-19. In an exclusive interview with ANI, Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, chief scientist at WHO, said, India was very systematic about the lockdown measures and unlocking in an organized manner while also focusing on developing diagnostics and scaling it up. Emphasizing that COVID-19 is going to stay for a long time, Swaminathan said, focus must now be on data management of the pandemic as the main challenge for India is demographics, heterogeneity, and the fact that the country has multiple epidemics going on in every state. According to the Health Ministry, the average positivity rate, which is the ratio of positive cases to the number of tests conducted, is 6.73%. However, there are wide variations in positivity rates between states. If the TPR is too high, it indicates that only the sickest are being tested and a large section of the population could be missing out. While the difference between recovered and active cases has increased to over 1.7 lakh, this trend has to hold for more than 2 weeks. Only then it can be an indication of the disease having peaked and a decline having started. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And as novel coronavirus infections rise in India, states are taking numerous measures to contain the spread. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal on Monday urged people to not panic as the recovery rate in the national capital has improved to 72% despite a spike in cases. Kejriwal said that out of the 25,000 active COVID-19 cases in Delhi, 15,000 are being treated at home. Testing in the national capital has also increased from 5,481 in first week of June 2020 to 18,766 in the first week of July 2020. Kerala's capital, Thiruvananthapuram, was placed under a triple lockdown starting today after several COVID-19 cases were reported in the district. The triple lockdown will last for a week, during which movement of people will be restricted and only essential services will be allowed. Interstate movement is banned. Uttar Pradesh government has withdrawn a planned reopening of the Taj Mahal, citing the risk of new coronavirus infections spreading in Agra from visitors flocking to see the monument. Amid a huge surge in coronavirus infections in Assam, the state's health department is relying on aggressive testing in the fight against the highly infectious illness. On Sunday, State Health Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma said the state is witnessing a huge spike in COVID-19 cases, with Guwahati entering the community transmission phase. Guwahati recorded its highest spike of 777 cases on Sunday. A total of 4,945 cases were detected in the state in the last 10 days. Rajasthan on Sunday recorded its highest spike in COVID-19 cases as 632 people tested positive in the last 24 hours, taking the total tally in the state to 20,164. One of the reasons for the high numbers in the state has been an outbreak of the disease in the jail in Pratapgarh, where more than 100 people are infected so far. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. States and union territories will take the decision on reopening schools. Stating this, Union Minister of Human Resource Development, Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank, has said that the government will soon unveil broad parameters to ensure uniformity across the nation.
In an interview to Rajya Sabha television, Union Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank said the centre has started consultations with the state governments about reopening schools in the country. He stressed that no schools and colleges will open without SOPs from the Home Ministry. Schools and colleges across the nation have been closed since 22nd March due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
अभी कोई निश्चित तिथि तय हुई है ऐसा नहीं है, क्योंकि अभी सब परीक्षाएं चल रही हैं, लेकिन ये अपेक्षा कर रहे हैं कि ये 30 अगस्त तक जो नए प्रवेश हैं वो ज़रूर हो जाएं और फिर अगस्त के बाद सितंबर में कक्षाएं विधिवत शुरू हो सकें, ऐसे सोचते हैं। आगे वो तो गृह मंत्रालय फिर निर्देश देगा और स्वास्थ्य मंत्रालय के परामर्श से हम लोग स्कूल खोल सकेंगे।
Nishank also said the centre may reduce the syllabus and instructional hours for schools in the next academic year. The HRD Ministry has invited suggestions from teachers and educationists in this regard.
लोगों के सुझाव मेरे ट्विटर पर, मेरे मेल पर आए कि अच्छा होता कि ये जो पाठ्यक्रम है ये बहुत ज़्यादा है, ये कम होता, तो हम लोगों ने अभी सबसे सुझाव मांगे हैं। NCERT के तहत एक टास्क फोर्स भी हमने बनाई है जो इस बात के लिए अध्ययन कर रही है कि बच्चे पर बहुत ज़्यादा भार ना पड़े, और जो नई शिक्षा नीति आ रही है उसमें तो हमने पूरी तरीके से इसका ध्यान रखा है। ये नई शिक्षा नीति का मसौदा आप सब लोगों ने देखा है, पढ़ा है, उसको महसूस भी किया है, और वो जो नई शिक्षा नीति का मसौदा है वो दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा परामर्श हुआ अब तक की, दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा परामर्श।
The minister also highlighted the HRD Ministry's efforts to promote digital learning during the COVID-19 crisis, including through platforms like Diksha, Swayam, National Digital Library and the EPG Pathshala. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And now the update on the global coronavirus situation, and the global COVID-19 infections increased by over 2 lakh cases in the past 24 hours, bringing the total worldwide infections to over 11.5 million.
On Sunday, the United States registered over 4,300 new cases, raising the nationwide tally to over 2.87 million. The death toll in the country is nearing 1,30,000. On Monday, New York entered phase 3 of reopening despite rising cases, allowing tattoo parlors and other personal care businesses to resume operations. Latin America has reported over 2.9 million COVID-19 cases as of Sunday, with Brazil having the highest number of cases at 1.6 million in the region. Brazil gradually began reopening its economy since the end of May, posing a great risk of further infections as pubs and restaurants in many cities, including Rio de Janeiro, have now resumed business. On the same day, Russia recorded 6,736 new COVID-19 cases, taking its total to 6,81,251. Moscow, the country's worst-hit region, reported 650 new cases, taking its tally of infections to 2,24,860. Spain reinstated restrictions in the region of Galicia from Sunday following a new cluster of COVID-19 infections. About 70,000 residents are not allowed to leave the town until Friday and must follow new restrictions. Also from Sunday, Madrid entered phase 2 of reopening, allowing entertainment venues to reopen, people heading back to work, and tourist sites allowed to reopen with limited visitors. England began easing restrictions over the weekend, allowing pubs, hairdressers and restaurants to reopen. The country has also pledged to invest nearly $2 billion in the arts sector, hoping to allow socially distant performances at cultural venues to help revive the sector hit hard by the coronavirus crisis.
Arts are at the absolute heart of our national life, whether it's your local theatre where you go to see the panto or part of the history of our nation from Shakespeare to Ed Sheeran. So it's essential that we preserve it.
Japan confirmed 208 new cases on Sunday, including 111 new infections in Tokyo. The country has a total of 19,822 cases, with the death toll reaching 977. Australia's Victoria state is closing its border with New South Wales from Tuesday following a surge in coronavirus cases in the region. Victoria recorded 127 new cases of COVID-19 overnight, the biggest single-day spike since the pandemic began. The state has started mass testing and placed thousands of people under lockdown. Meanwhile, calling for the World Health Organization to revise recommendations on the novel coronavirus, a group of scientists have claimed that the virus can float in air droplets and is likely to infect people that way. In an open letter to the agency, 239 scientists from 32 countries outlined evidence showing that the disease is airborne. WHO officials have said that the agency is reviewing its contents with its technical experts. Meanwhile, WHO has discontinued the trials of the malaria drug hydroxychloroquine and combination HIV drug lopinavir and ritonavir, citing their failure to reduce mortality of hospitalized COVID-19 patients.
In more international news, a suspected case of bubonic plague triggered an alert in northern China on Sunday.
Authorities in China's Inner Mongolia issued a warning a day after a hospital reported the case. The local health authority said the warning will continue till the end of 2020. Health authorities have asked people to take extra precautions to minimize the risk of human-to-human transmission and to avoid hunting or eating animals that could cause infection. Sunday's warning comes after 4 cases of plague were reported from Inner Mongolia last November, 2 cases related to the deadlier pneumonic plague. According to the World Health Organization, bubonic plague caused by infected fleas is a common form of plague that can kill an adult in less than 24 hours. Caused by bacteria and transmitted through flea bites and infected animals, plague is the deadliest of bacterial infections. The Black Death was a devastating global pandemic of bubonic plague that struck Europe and Asia in mid-1300, in which nearly 50 million people died.
On to some other news. On the occasion of Guru Purnima on Sunday, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu launched India's first indigenously developed social media super app, Elements. Here are the details. Speaking at the virtual launch of the mobile app via video conferencing, Naidu said the call for Atmanirbhar Bharat will help the country capitalize on its inherent strengths. He said the campaign was aimed at giving a new boost to the economic potential of the country by strengthening infrastructure, using modern technologies and enhancing human resources.
New India needs vibrant young thinkers who are willing to experiment and explore. We should innovate, not just imitate. Innovation is the watchword for the 21st century. We have all the ingredients for success. We need to just connect the dots and create synergies of action. The Prime Minister has given a call, 3-line mantra: reform, perform and transform. Transformation of the nation and transformation for the betterment of the lives of the people. Not only India, across the globe.
He urged every Indian to adopt the Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign to transform local India into global India. The Elements app has been developed by over 1,000 IT professionals.
We call upon every Indian to rise to the occasion and adopt this campaign as his or her own. We can certainly chase the dream of transforming local India into a global India by using our resources wisely and strategically. We can make it happen by unleashing the force of growth and giving space for creative experimentation.
The newly launched app is an attempt to replacing Facebook and WhatsApp. It comes with a camera feature that has built-in filters and augmented reality characters. The app also has messaging, voice calling and group chatting capabilities. It is available in 8 Indian languages. The app is available on the Google Play Store and Apple's App Store. And now an update on the weather conditions, and the Met Department has predicted heavy to extremely heavy rainfall in Maharashtra and Gujarat over the next 3 days due to low pressure over Kutch.
Fairly widespread to widespread rain is likely to occur over Odisha, West Bengal, Jharkhand and Bihar in the next 2 to 3 days. Maximum temperatures are expected to fall by 2 to 4 degrees Celsius over the plains of northwest India in the next 48 hours. Most parts of the country are unlikely to experience any significant change in temperatures during the next 3 to 4 days due to monsoon activity. Central and North India could receive thunder showers and rain in the next 24 hours, while Delhi and parts of Uttar Pradesh are expected to receive medium to heavy rains.
And the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization has warned that India should remain on high alert against a locust attack for the next 4 weeks. India is facing the worst locust attacks in 3 decades for the last 3 months.
FAO informed that locust swarms that have travelled as far as Nepal are expected to return to Rajasthan and join other swarms coming from Pakistan and Iran. Meanwhile, the government says it has conducted locust control operations in around 2.5 lakh hectares area across 9 states since 11th April 2020. These states are Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Punjab, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Haryana and Bihar. The Agriculture Ministry has informed that no significant crop losses have been reported in these states except in Rajasthan. Centre has stepped up efforts and is using the latest technology and equipment like drones and Bell helicopters to control the menace. More than 200 central government personnel are engaged in locust control operations. Presently, 60 control teams with spray vehicles are deployed in Rajasthan, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. The Indian Air Force has also joined the locust control operations in Rajasthan.
Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid a tribute to nationalist leader Dr. Sharmaprasad Mukherjee on his birth anniversary on Monday.
In a series of tweets, Venkaiah Naidu said that Dr. Mukherjee was an accomplished barrister, philosopher and educationist of great repute. The Vice President said Sharmaprasad Mukherjee was a great patriot who fought relentlessly to preserve national unity and total integration of Jammu and Kashmir into India. Naidu also said that Dr. Mukherjee's love for the motherland will always remain an inspiration for every Indian. Paying tribute on Sharmaprasad Mukherjee's 119th birth anniversary, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said Dr. Mukherjee has made exemplary contributions towards India's development. He said Mukherjee made courageous efforts to further India's unity. The Prime Minister said Mukherjee's thoughts and ideals give strength to millions across the nation. Home Minister Amit Shah also paid tributes to Dr. Sharmaprasad Mukherjee, the founder of the Bharatiya Janasangh, on his birth anniversary. In a tweet, Shah said Mukherjee was a visionary leader who stressed on permanent solutions to India's problems and fought for them throughout his life. BJP President JP Nadda paid floral tribute at the party headquarters in Delhi. In his address, Nadda said Dr. Mukherjee's ideals were a unique blend of regional aspirations and national unity. Sharmaprasad Mukherjee was born on July 6, 1901 in Calcutta. He was the Minister for Industry and Supply in Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru's cabinet, but he later resigned from the post. With the help of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, he founded the Bharatiya Janasangh in 1951. Sharmaprasad Mukherjee was also the president of the Akhil Bharatiya Hindu Mahasabha from 1943 to 1946. Mukherjee is also regarded as the founder of the Bharatiya Janata Party. He breathed his last on June 23, 1953.
And that's the wrap on this edition of News Tonight. We'll see you tomorrow at the same time with all the day's big stories. Till then, stay home as much as possible, stay safe, good night and take care.